Cheers.
Cheers. It's 2022.
Finally.
And it looks like a new GTO.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, finally. It's been a strange year. We moved out to a new place, new factory, new workshop. So it's been really hectic the last couple of months. And yeah, we actually did a complete overhaul on the skate. To start off, we basically redid the logo. Yeah.
I see it in the front, like on the tongue.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah.
The pinnacle one.
Exactly. So it's the pinnacle of skate design basically, because yeah, it's like it kind of reflects the things I like. So me and Olga, of course. So I really love the mountains. As you can see, the level videos as well. The logo is based on like a mountain. But that got me thinking to, okay, so basically it's also the pinnacle, the top, the best of the best. And that had more meaning to me than the old logo, which we started out 11 years ago. We made a logo and we're like, okay, that looks cool, you know, and we just went with it. And then there were some redesigns over the years. But to be honest, like it never felt like my own. And yeah, for 2022, after everything that happened, we were like, okay, we're done. Adapt is fully ours. We're just gonna commit to what we like. And yeah, that's basically like the new logo. So the pinnacle on the GTO, it's a classic. It's still our best-selling model. So with
but I see in a lot of new upgrades.
Yeah.
And it's not the same skate anymore.
No.
It has some features. What's new?
Well, apart from like the logo, we went actually back to the embossment of the leather. So before, like last year, we did or the previous year we did like the embroidery. So we had like adapt embroidered, and the first GTO had the A, the stamp, out of the leather. And when we took it away, a lot of people were like, oh no, like, and they had to get used to the embroidery on the tongue. So we went back to the design of placing this in the front of the skate on the tongue. So it looks.
Can I touch it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Boot on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that from the
Exactly.
cap and all the special items where you have.
It's so nice with the nubuck leather. It works perfect. Like if you hold it in your hands and you can actually see it and feel it, nothing out there is on the same level as this, to be honest. Like the feel, it's all
and it's so simple, so you just have
exactly
two things.
Yeah. But so the main thing with the change on the GTO is basically that we went for a new lining system. Basically, it's not a liner. It's basically I came up with the idea because I was a bit, when it's an expensive skate, people save up for it, and when you don't heat mold it correctly, and it's, for example, you're wearing down on the edges, you're pushing, it will wear down eventually, and it's a shame because the rest of the skate is 100% still good, and it's just a shame. Sometimes customers would email me about it. What can I do to prevent this, or this happened to my skate? But I never really wanted to go to the cheap route and just put a liner in it and problem solved, So
it's not a liner.
It's not a liner. It's a heel liner. So it's basically like a fully formed, like a shape. Basically, we can take out this one later.
Awesome.
But it's like a fully heat moldable. It has a fiber inside. So it is structural, but it also houses all the foams basically that you need to be very comfortable. And that's basically on the bottom it has Velcro. So you basically place it in there. You can also shift it a bit, maybe place it a bit more up if you want to like adjust it. So it's basically really simple. But the idea behind it is so simple. It's basically replacing what was already inside of the adapt.
Yeah, okay. But you don't have to always work with the whole skate.
Exactly.
If you need something to change inside or heat mold inside,
Yeah.
you can take out the part that you need to work on and put it in the oven.
Take out the insole,
Okay.
which is actually keeping it also in place. It
Yeah.
puts a lot of like pressure on the sides. So we have the insole. That's still it's a proven product. We like to work with this company. It's called MySole. It's owned by Fisher. It's heat moldable.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
And it was always
it was always in the GTO from the start actually. So basically what you do is you put your hand in, you just press, and you pull it out.
Crazy.
So this piece is half of a liner, and so there's a couple of things why we would never put in a liner in an adapt. One of those is you don't need this bottom part in the adapt, because basically the bottom of the adapt is already what you need as towards what your foot should feel. If we would place a layer of something, leather, or let's say what's it called, like the neoprene.
Yeah.
Basically, the neoprene goes 4 ways.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're always shifting.
And it's something that you add that you don't need, because
we don't need it.
We have to have this
Exactly.
one inside and then an extra layer that you don't need.
Why would we put in another layer? So the idea came from the Superleggera, the first Superleggera. So basically, first Superleggera did not have a bottom; it was carbon, and then it had the insole inside.
Yeah.
And this came from the Superleggera idea. So it's derived from the Superleggera technology, basically.
Okay.
And again, took me to why would we need the front? Because nobody wears out the front in a skate. Like nobody. So we basically have a very minimalistic front inside, which is also mesh and very soft.
Okay.
But you will never wear it out.
Yeah.
And basically on the inside of the skate, we used the on-steam material that we used to work with for like very hardcore GTO skate. And yeah, basically, so the back piece is made out of the on-steam on the outside, has the logo on the outside, has the Velcro, and then basically it's the mesh with some very nice durable foam inside, and it's fully heat moldable at low temperature, which is amazing. And that brings me to the second point of why this is just a big step up.
Yeah.
If you would buy an adapt, we always say heat mold, because you know how it is.
Yeah.
It makes it like 5 times better.
Yeah.
Straight out of the box. It goes basically to your form, and it works better.
Yeah.
Problem is that with doing it like maybe too rigorous or too much, you would actually compress the foams, and the shell needs 100 degrees Celsius, but the inside needs maximum around 80 degrees Celsius. So it's a bad combination kind.
Yeah.
It works,
Yeah.
but we had issues in the past where customers would be like, hey, my foam is fully compressed. And then they start to say like, I feel the carbon inside.
Mm.
That's never the case. There's always foam inside, but it feels like it. It's like, because it's compressed. The solution was put it back in the oven actually and reheat it, and it swells up again. So it's sort of going back to new. With this, it is put it in the oven. When you get the skate, you put it in the oven at lower temperature, like 80 degrees. You keep this piece in, and this will form like if you want to make it into a ball, you can. So it's crazy. The fiber inside is just you can see it keeps a shape.
Yeah, and it will form even better because it's not directly attached to the skate.
So it can form. Otherwise, the glue, the foams were all stuck into the shell.
Okay.
And they would have to form, and sometimes it would take maybe multiple, depending on how your foot is, you know. But with this, it's super easy.
Okay.
Another good thing is, in case it goes wrong, or you wear out, which is normal.
Yeah.
You wear out something on the lining or whatever, you can just buy a new one and basically keep your adapt skate in perfect condition, and it will also feel like a new one. You know, it's so yeah, it's a lot of plus plus sides to this to the skate. It made it into, to my opinion, a better skate.
Yeah, nice.
Because you know how I only skate the Superleggero, you know.
Yeah.
But for this,
I recognize some of the materials.
Yeah.
So it's an upgrade to the
Yeah,
GTO.
it is. But for me, I would never bring out a product if I haven't at least tried it or have an interest in it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, if the customer really wants a product, we would look into it. But with the GTO, it's close to my heart because the GTO was the Superleggero before the Superleggero, basically. Yeah. So that was the top of our line, and I did go skating in it, and with the first sample we did, and it was amazing. All the points where I would have to heat mold it myself, like here, I would have to make it wider because I have like white calves on the bottom, and no issues, because the thing where some people say it's an adapt, it's rigid. Yes, it is, but with the lining, basically having a fiber, it goes inside and it kills off the edge. So it's super smooth now on the top. It's basically like you don't feel anything at the top, but you still have the support, like the full-on support of the adapt skate. What people love, you know, it's like they want the support. They also want sort of the flex and not having the cuff piece digging in.
That you're not going directly
exactly
against it, but it's laying over, and then you have an extra pattern. But here it's nothing more inside.
No, so we have the shell and we have a bit of basic foams. If we would just make it like close up, it would be too hard. It would maybe cut even through because it's carbon, you know. And so on the carbon, we do like a very minimalistic 3mm layer to protect it, basically. And then this is also calculated. So together, the thickness is roughly around the old GTO, basically. And that's how it should feel. Also on these parts, we cut out the fiber, basically. So this piece has a bit more flex. So the bottom of your foot, basically when it's standing, can stretch it out a bit. Otherwise, on the sample, we didn't have this. So I could feel the side.
You don't add a layer.
Exactly. It's just, it's there always with the adapt. So basically, but now you can remove it, right? And then it brings me to the other point, can you put a liner in this skate? The question everybody wants to know. Yes, but why would you? And also, you would probably have to go up one size at least. And it's, in my opinion, it's a waste, because this little thing costs more than every other liner out there to be produced. So I don't know, it's a very cool design and it works together. So why would you change it, you know? And but yeah, people are free to do whatever they want, and it can be done, but it's up to their own expertise or whatever. And
you lose the perfect fit, and you lose the back and the front piece, because that's meant to be like
exactly. And it doesn't have a tongue. The tongue is built still in the skate. So this makes it work like a one piece. You know, it's not moving inside of the skate. So yeah, it also takes away a bit of the pressure on the laces on the top, which is amazing. Some people have like a very thin legs, basically shins. They have to press it like really hard together to get the support that an adapt normally gives you. And with this, it gets, well, the dimensions are the same from the outside. It's not wider, but it makes it a bit more beefy on the inside. So basically, when the tongue sits in there, it takes away the pressure of these three eyelets, which is perfect. So yeah, and actually now that we mentioned the eyelets, we did reinforce the eyelets again. So we have now 2 layers again. With the new design, like before it always had 2 layers, that was with the older GTOs. We went to the new design, the new lines basically, a bit the sharper lines, and we got rid of this piece.
Okay.
But we also went down from 2 mm thickness of the nubuck to 1.3.
Okay.
It gets wet. You skate it a year, 2 years, and so on. It can develop a bit of a stretch inside because it's leather. It's a natural product. You know, it happens with shoes as well. So basically, we decided it's a ballistic nylon on the inside. It's like the weave thickness is like 1,000 nylon. It's one of the biggest ones you can get.
Yeah.
Strongest as well. But nylon alone would not cut it. So basically, we reinforced the leather with 2 layers. Basically, so it's not 1.3 at this point. It's basically 2.6 of nubuck leather,
okay.
which compresses the eyelets like really well.
Yeah,
so,
sounds good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's
I see a strap.
Yeah. What? Yeah, it's so the first years of the GTO, because we are such a believer in the laces, you know, the wax laces it's proven. You know, there is not one soul, I would say, that says, oh, those are shitty laces. You know, it's just not true because they're actually used by the NFL, they come from the same. Because of my background within ice skating, we had the contacts, and they're made in Canada. They're not like a rip-off made in China. That's the truth. You know, it's a double wax coating, and it doesn't, like, the wax doesn't come off because the cheaper ones are, the coating is put on the top basically, and then you see it. Oh, it's waxed because you see it. No, this one is waxed, and it's like double coated. So basically, they go through a bath of like wax, and then absorbs it within the fiber. So that is like a lot better and longer lasting. So because of you were such believers, and me just wanting to be as minimalistic as possible, you know how it is.
Okay.
You're the same.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted to keep every line very crisp and clear. I never want to overdo design.
You could get a different look with the strap. So this is something you
exactly. The thing is, we did release a strap on the Brutale, and everybody loved it.
Mm.
Some people were like, actually, we don't like it with the lines, maybe, or because it's a different look.
Yeah.
But then when Olga was skating it, and she was the biggest critic, she was like, I don't want a strap. And I made the strap, and I was like, just try it, because it's totally different, you know, and it takes away the pressure on the lacing. So she tried the strap, of course, loved it. And we immediately thought like, okay, so the GTO on its own, it's super good. But you would have to heat mold everything proper. It will have to adjust to your feet. You know how it is with an adapt. It takes maybe a week or 2 and it only becomes better. Yeah. The strap makes it more easy for immediately like lock.
Yeah. Okay. But you can take it off.
You can take it off. It's simply just like the aggressive.
Yeah.
It's using the Quattro mount system. So basically it's using the outer bolts, and there's also the hole, of course, in the inner.
So it's an option. You don't have to use.
Exactly.
So without the strap you can skate it because you're not missing anything. Also in the
no. I would say somebody that's experienced with Adapt might still be good without. But yeah, it's worth giving it a try and see if it's something for you, because it really digs your like heel into the pocket, like full on. So the way it responds then as well, you know, and not giving it that much pressure on the laces and on the leather, like it takes away the stress of a lot of parts on the skate. Maybe with longevity, like it could last you maybe a bit longer because there is no stress, you know, on the skates. Yeah.
Sounds good. We see frames here on the GTO in front. What about frames?
Yeah. So basically the GTO still uses the Quattro system. For people that don't know about the Quattro system, it's basically the regular mounting, so it's a 165 where you can mount basically all free skates on it. Oh. Whoops!
Mom's calling.
Yeah. And basically it also has the 195, which is more derived for the speed skate frames.
Yeah.
And then we have our own mounting, so that's a Quattro mounting, and that's the outer bolts, where you only use the outer bolts. Basically gives a lot of more freedom on the inside to play around with the wheels. That's why all the Quattro frames are like a high-low setup, for this reason and other reasons. It works really well. The mounts are replaceable, and for the frame, so we basically almost offer for any type of mounting you see on here. We have frames within Symetrics. So we have the 165s going from 80 millimeters to up to 110s, even, where you have a full-on marathon frame.
Yeah.
And then we even have like the blocks where you can make this skate UFS. So because it's a 165. So basically you can put.
So if you have a frame that you want to use.
Exactly. You already have the frame, it's UFS, but you want to invest in a nice piece of equipment. Sure, we have the block here. It's made to fit perfectly on there. It looks good. It's lightweight as well since last year. It's like a 3D SLS printed, so it's really good. You can mount any UFS frame on it, but then the Quattro frames, like we had one Quattro frame which was you skated as well, so it's the 84 and then the 90, so basically two wheels, 84 in front. No, it's and it's 90s in the back, sorry. And the frame is amazing.
I don't want to skate anything else because the four bolts that you have all power going into
it's on another level than every other frame. Basically, it's just like it suits the Adapt. It's built for the Adapt. So if you have the budget, because it is an expensive frame, and that's only because it's full on CNC machined out of one block, and the level of finish. Like we even produce the bolts. We don't buy all that stuff. We just produce it. So it fits perfect. But there's a lot of Quattro options out there now. We're expanding. So because it's that expensive to produce, it took us a while, and we got really busy with other stuff. And it's just me and Olga trying to cope with everything. Of course, we have some people helping us out, like with the machine division. Like of course, I used to do as well the machining. That's in the past, thank God. But I still have to develop it. I still have to work together with those people to make sure it's perfect and what we want. So basically now, I want to go into the frames maybe on a different talk, because there's, the main thing is we have multiple options. So for bigger sizes or smaller sizes. We also have like a full-on marathon speed skate frame now with the Quattro system. Awesome. And the main thing is they're a lot lighter than the previous generation without losing rigidity and strength. Which is amazing. But we calculated and we had too much weight on the frame where it was not needed. So so you
have the light carbon skate, and then the frame is getting even lighter. So your setup is
still
going into the right direction of.
It is. I think in the beginning we were more focused on the weight than we are right now. And the reason is because the Superleggera nobody can. That's it. Basically, that's the lightest there is. But with a GTO, it's different. Different vibe, different type of skating. You can get away with more. It's a totally different skate.
This is also why the new lining totally pays into exactly that. You have the comfort. You have what you maybe want to have.
Exactly.
You have the options with the frame, so everyone can get the setup they want. So you can also get it like as a full skate, also with frames then.
Basically on the website you can just get everything what you need. You can get it boot only, you can get it with Quattro frames, normal frames, even with a UFS frame, like a big wheel frame. Yeah, and we have new bearings as well. That's always tricky. Bearings, to be honest, is just it's trying to find for the best. And but even if you then order, there is sometimes there is a bit more play in one than in the other, and it makes it react different. So even if it's stamped with this, but I have to say with the bearings we are going with right now, I'm really pleased. And I'm not just saying that because I did have issues with the previous bearings. They were good, but as in, I like a silent skate, so it needs to be full on dead silent. So we took a closer look again to the ratio with the spacers that we produce in-house and the bearing. And we upgraded with the bearings. So basically we have Symetrics is taking again another leap in quality. So we have a 7-ball bearing. We're not doing the ABEC stuff basically. So we just we want the best quality, but also affordable. So that's why we stepped away from the ceramic. We used to have the ceramic. To be honest, it felt really nice, but I think it's more in your head because it's it's expensive, it's ceramic, and you're like, oh, it's something fancy. And I tested other bearings and I was like, I really don't feel the difference. And that got me to the point where do we then need a ceramic for this sport basically? Sure, if you can get a really good one, but they're more fragile. If a bit of sand comes in there,
For what we do, I think it's not the performance you maybe whatever.
Yeah, I want a silent bearing that is super smooth on the roll. There should be almost no friction in it, and so that's what came to the new bearing, basically a new manufacturer as well. So we have the 7-ball bearing under Symetrics, and then you can see spot those at the gray shield basically. It's gray shield with the 7B, 7-ball. Very smooth bearing, price wise, perfect option. And then we have the high end one, which is basically like a 6-ball bearing. So there's less friction. The cage inside, they're both nylon, but the cage is a better finish, and the thickness of the wall of the bearing of the cage itself is different with the 6-ball than with the 7-ball. So basically the 6-ball, it's the more expensive one, is a more stronger build quality actually. So they can refine it better, and then it's super smooth, it rolls amazing. But it's always a bearing. A bearing is, it can happen that day one you roll out, something happens weird, but to be honest, the last bearings I put in, I was I think I have 2 setups, and on one I was testing the 6-ball, no noise, it's silent, and then Sam was testing the 7-ball bearings, was also really happy with it, so they're good bearings, and price wise we didn't go it's not because it's Adapt or Symetrics, it has to be expensive, Of course we do the normal pricing, but it doesn't have to be made expensive for the sake of being expensive, and that's
sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty cool skate, to be honest.
So that's the GTO 2022.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of news.
A lot.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the chat. I think
coffee.
I need another coffee.
I think I need another one as well. Cheers. Because it's ice cold. That's not again.